And we're live. How do?
How do?
You are?
David Bone.
David Bone is a Geordie, in case you haven't worked that out. Another lad. I'm going to be doing some work with this guy. I'm going to talk about that later. We're going to do a full interview later at some point. I'm going to do the 20 questions with this guy. A lot of them won't apply. So would you first like to explain what white collar is?
White collar is...
I'll put subtitles on if you can't understand it.
White collar is crimes mainly like fraud. So you would class blue collar crime in the olden days really as things like robberies or burglaries. And white collar crime is things like fraud. So
your man here, he had a business doing right well. I would call you, was that yuppie a fair title? No? Right.
We'll go with it if you want.
Yuppie, young whiz kid, flying high, had a business. Sadly it crashed. How many years later?
It crashed in 2011.
Yep.
And I got sentenced in 2019, so 8 years.
So the tax man came after him years later.
Yep, 8 years later.
So I'm going to get the 20 questions.
Go for it.
Again, we're looking for brief answers here. I'm going to do a full...
I'm not the best as you know with brief answers, but we'll go for it.
A full chat with this guy. A lot of these will not apply. This is not a career criminal. This is someone who had a business and ended up in prison due to the workings of that business. So, again, how different would your life have been if you hadn't been to prison?
Not very on the face of it. My sentence was only 6 months, and I didn't find out I was going to court till January 2018, so it was a very kind of short period of my life before I came home in December 2019. So the whole process was 2 years long, 6 months of that of which was in prison. So it's a very rich experience, and it's changed how I see things and the things I want to do in my life since I've came out. But my main business that I do wouldn't change much really. I've got 2 kids, I've got a wife, I've got a business, and those things wouldn't have changed really too much, I don't think.
Damage to your close ones, again, because it all happened quick.
Damage to me close ones, my mum and dad took it very badly. My mum could still get upset about it if I speak about it now. My wife was amazing at the time, like incredible.
Strong.
Very, very strong, like next level strong. But I think it probably affected her more than she realised since I've came home. Yep. I think she's pretty much fine now, mind. Yep. But I think the months after I came home, she could then take some time to process it, because I was there to help with the kids and she's got her own business. I was there to help her run that and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
So, yeah, damage to close ones. It affected me in-laws. They were very upset. But long-term damage, I'd say very minimal.
Cool.
Thankfully.
If you could turn back the clock, where to?
If I could turn back the clock, this is a difficult answer, and I'll answer it in 2 bits, because one, I wouldn't change the experience, because I think the stuff you and I are going to do will end up having a positive impact and will make some positive changes.
Yep.
So I wouldn't change it for that reason, but if I could turn the clock back, I would turn it back. I went down because investors lost money in my business basically, and I would turn it back so that didn't happen.
Okay. You realise where you're at and you just stop then rather than...
I'd have stopped then rather than blindly trying to chase something that I genuinely believed could come good. I would have cut it sooner and people wouldn't have lost money.
So next 3 I've wrote off because they don't apply to you.
Okay.
What changed the crime? Where would you be without? What could you have been without crime? So 7, chosen career. What would your chosen career have been?
A sports journalist would have been something I would have picked. When I was leaving university, I would have loved to have been a sports journalist. I didn't become one through choice really. Not that I'm saying I could have been a great sports journalist, but if I'd have gone down that road, I could have probably done it, I think, without sounding arrogant at all there. I think I probably could, but I chose to go into business instead, which is it something I regret? Sometimes, but it's too late to change it now.
Definitely. Soothing sound effects of rain. They'll still be in, no editing. 3 wishes.
Ooh, can there be anything of 3 wishes?
Yeah.
1, I hope the work we're going to do will be as successful and will make the change that I think it can make.
Very good.
That's number 1. 2, I hope me kids, can this be anything?
Yeah.
I hope me kids have a very happy and healthy life and go into something in their life that makes them happy.
Some purpose.
Some purpose, yeah. And 3, ooh, difficult one this. 3 would be
That you'd have met me sooner.
absolutely, no doubt, no doubt.
Are we going with that?
Let's go with it. I like it.
Who would you give credit to in helping you?
My wife. Would have been a hell of a lot more difficult situation if my wife wasn't who she is.
Nice. 1 regret. I think we already know that, don't we?
Yeah.
Not realising your business.
Not realising it was going down sooner, and the people who lost money wouldn't have done.
Does going to prison make you a better or worse criminal? Doesn't apply, does it?
Doesn't, no.
Were you a smoker?
No.
Doesn't apply then. Any prison staff really help you?
Yes. Bloke at Strangeways. Do you want us to name him or not?
I can't see as anyone having a problem if they are a good guy
yes.
or gal.
Mr. Welby, bloke at Strangeways on I-Wing, did something incredibly simple that went a long way. When you're first in there, in the shock and the panic and the unfamiliarity of it all, this guy called you by your first name. That made a massive difference, right?
Did he get sort
Huge
of disrespected from other staff by that?
Not that I noticed, I've got to be
Or
honest.
was it like 1-to-1?
1-to-1. But not even when he was openly on the wing,
Yep.
if somebody was doing something
Yep.
that they couldn't do or he didn't like, he would shout across, but it would be first name.
Yep.
It would be a respectful request to stop what they were doing.
Yep.
And this guy, if you gave him a form, you knew it was getting processed. If you asked him a question, you knew he'd get an honest answer. He didn't bullshit you, but the first name thing was very important.
Right.
There was
See,
go on. No, you go.
See, me, healthcare, we use first names, never had a problem with that.
Yeah.
I'm not for calling people Mister. I myself, you know, people could have called me Sam, I had no problem with that. People say the first name things, there's no barrier or anything, I think that's bullshit. However, you know, it is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. There's another one I'd like to mention if you don't mind.
Yep.
There's a fella at Kirkham called Mr. James, and he's known as the toughest bastard there, right?
Yep.
Renowned for being a hard screw, right? He's actually a PAI, is his official job, and he's got people mopping synchronized every day, and he's well known. As soon as you walk into the place, he's the first person you're told about.
Yep.
But I saw him help more people with their struggles than any other officer in there.
So you've just bubbled him.
No,
The
no,
tough guy, you've just bubbled him.
No, well, wait till I finish. So if you towed the line for him, and if you turned up for work and you did your job and you pulled your weight,
Yep.
he would go out of his way to help you. If you didn't, he didn't.
Fair dues. Bit
But
of mutual respect
You
going
can't
on
ask for
there.
any fairer than that, I don't think.
No. Which sentence was the hardest? Don't apply. Ever make a conscious decision to change for better or worse? Don't apply. Okay, this one might apply. Scariest moment in prison.
Scariest moment was when the door first closed, when I went behind my door the first time. So when I went into my cell, and I hadn't spoken to my cellmate yet. He was there, but he was quite standoffish at first, which is understandable.
Yep.
And when the door shut, and I realised I couldn't check my wife and my kids were okay, that was the scariest moment.
Absolutely. Thank you for your honesty. Forget all these tough guys, guy. There we are. First night, locked behind the door. And for the other guy whose cell you were going in, again, you know, stranger coming into my cell.
Yeah.
I've got my stuff in there. I don't know you from Adam.
Well, this guy who I was in with was doing 22 years, right?
There you go.
And he ended up being wonderful. He helped me more than people I've known all my life have done, right? He was great.
Again.
But at the time, you don't know he's great.
No.
And when you're in there and you've never been in there, and they shut the door the first time when the keys go in that lock and the door's shut, and you're in this tiny cell, and you think, I've got no control here. I cannot ring my wife to check everybody's okay. I can't tell them I'm okay. Total lack of control. That was the scariest moment.
Like I said, thanks for your honesty. No bullshit, no. Again, did you plan your life out? Any regrets?
Any regrets in terms of?
Well, we know the business side.
Yeah, the rest of me regrets. I don't have any because they've led us to where I am now in terms of my life outside of the business troubles. I've got a wonderful wife, 2 wonderful kids, wonderful family. So I don't think you should have regrets. I think you've just got to look forward.
I never have.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Were you treated with respect and dignity in prison?
Total and utter from everybody. Every inmate treated us with respect and dignity. I tell you what's not that dignified, the strip search. That's
I've discussed that before.
Fucking know what you can do about that, but that's grim.
It's terrible.
But yes, I have to say, I was treated with respect, and I try to treat everybody else with respect as well. And I think if you're going in for the first time and you go in with that mantra, you're going to look everybody in the eye, say hello, smile, shake their hand. I think it'll be all right.
I think that's good advice. A word, I mentioned it yesterday, I'll mention it again, being humble as well.
Yeah, totally.
You know, you've got nothing to prove.
You've also, if you go in there, in terms of the bubble of the prison, you've got nothing to fear if you're not looking to sell anything, rob anything,
borrow
anything, be the big man. There's nothing to fear, because if you're respectful and you're humble, as you rightly say, you'll be fine.
Thank you for that one. What would have changed you from being a criminal? Don't apply. And finally, was prison good to you, and without it, would you have been where you are today?
Was prison good to me? I think I'm a better person for having the rich experience. It's not an experience I'd wish to repeat, but I'm glad I've had it. And
really?
Yeah, I think I am.
See, a lot of people would not expect that, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm glad I've had it, because I think what I'm looking to do will make a positive change. I think it's made a positive change of me. I think I'm more mindful of my time and what's important now. I can't remember the second half of the question, Sam. Sorry.
Being where you are now, well,
I think I'd probably be where I am in many ways, but the projects I'm hoping to launch going forward obviously wouldn't be happening had I not been in prison.
Why I had to say that, guys. I now know what it means. I'm going to be doing some work with this guy. Although he's not obligated, he is undertaking projects to help people in prison. So respect for that. And finally, can't speak to a Geordie without mentioning Ashington.
Yes.
1978, as a 16-year-old schoolboy, went to Northumberland on rugby tour. We got a couple of good kick-ins, however.
Ashington's tough.
Ashington, we played Ashington Colts. I think it was 20-all on the Saturday. Ashington was a small place. I think it was in the Guinness Book of Records for having the most working men's clubs.
Yes, correct.
Anywhere in the country, a working men's clubs, if you're from another country, is literally as it says. You can buy alcohol. Some of them were like people's front rooms. The people of Ashington welcomed us. The families of the lads we played against put us up for the night, and we were treated like kings. So
respect to Ashington.
Yeah. Cheers, mate.
Thank you very much.
Full interview.
It's been a pleasure.
In some months' time. Cheers.
Look forward to it.
I'll see you.